Welcome back. In this session, we are going to see the folder structure in Django. When we say folder structure, I mean the folder which we have created when we have created the Django project. So this is the project folder which we have, and this is the settings folder inside project folder and the manage.py. This db.sqlite3 we have created after migrating the project. So let's get inside the settings folder and see what are the files we do have. Click on that and see the very first file you have init__dot_py, and this is again same __init__dot_pyc. all this pyc file is getting created when you migrate the project, and the another Python file which we have is settings.py, urls.py and wsgi.py. You can see this folder structure even in your terminal also. So open your terminal, go inside the project folder and give a tree command. So if you give a tree command, you will see the files and folder which you have inside the folder. So this db.sqlite, and then this is the settings folder and all these which we have discussed, right? And if this tree command is not working in your system, then probably you may need to install the tree package. To install it, simply you can give sudo apt install tree. In this command will work only in Debian and Ubuntu. Now we will discuss the each and every files that we have. So let us first open your folder or project folder and look inside the manage.py. So as you can see in manage.py, you have imported OS and sys package, and there is something OS environment set default Django settings module, which means basically manage.py is a Python file which creates automatically while creating the project, and it does two things. The first, it puts your project package into sys path, and second, it sets the Django settings module environment variable so that it points your project settings.py. So which I mean is Django settings module variable, so that it points your project settings.py. And when I say settings.py, so that means the setting inside settings folder you have settings.py, right? So this is what. Now if you can open the second file which is inside the Django settings folder __init__.py, so basically you can't see anything inside this. Basically this is also a Python file. If you keep this particular init.py file in any folder, basically Django considered it is a Python folder. That's it. The another file which we have is the settings.py. As the name suggests, this is the complete settings of your project, right from how the file structure should be inside your project, what are the secret key, like this is the secret key of your projects, Django the exception if you have made some mistakes, so how whether the errors are going to display in the browser or not. So basically debug equals to true. That means to say if you are working in a development on a development project, so you should make debug true. If you hosting this application for production, then you should say debug false. Allowed host is basically let's say you have worked and developed some application and you are going to host this project on certain domain, so you can define your domain here. Installed apps is basically all the apps which is been already installed in the Django, or let's say if you are making another app, custom app, you can add your custom app here. And this is the middleware, and this is the root url conf templates, how the front end is going to be configured, where the files of HTML files is going to be there, so that you can define it here in the DIRs folder. And again there is a Wsgi application. So basically WSGI is nothing but a web server gateway interface, and the primary Django deployment environment is basically WSGI, and the database. So by default in Django you will have the SQLite 3 database already integrated. If you would like to configure MySQL or the Oracle or the SQL server, or let's say PostgreSQL, you can configure whatever the database you want, you can configure it here. And then there is a auth password validators, language, time zone. This language and time zone you can keep it in as per your language time zone. So I'm just giving Asia Kolkata, and static URLs. So that means to say we are going to create one static folder inside our project, and we are going to add the all static files like CSS, JavaScript, image, everything inside that folder. Now open the another folder which is urls.py. So urls.py is basically a Python file which contains the URL of your project. So when I say the URL of your project, as you remember, if you can open your terminal and run your project. So let me first activate the virtual environment. So work on Django blog, and I'm going to run it, run server. So let's open the browser. So it's working, right? And to go for admin, if you give admin, so basically it works, since I'm already logged in, I'm inside the admin panel. I'm inside the admin panel, and this particular URL is working because we have the admin and slash inside our URL. Let's say you want to make it, instead of admin, hello Django. So that means to say the Django administration site should be available on 127.00:8000 /hello Django. Then it should admin site should be available here. So hope terminal is running, not server is running. So now if you can refresh this page, so you can see page 404, mean to say this URL doesn't exist. Now remove the admin and give hello Django here. So now admin panel is working here, right? That means to say whatever the URL you want for your project, you can define your URL here in urls.py. And the another file which we have is the Wsgi file. As I said, this is the primary deployment platform in Django. So even the server which is running in the browser, like localhost server, so basically it works because of this Wsgi file structure itself. So even if you can see in the terminal, you can see here the starting development server at localhost and 8000 port. This port, if you want, you can define it the custom port which you want. So let's say if you want to run your server on 8080, so you can define the server. So how to make it is, you can give python manage.py run server, and you can give 8080 if it is free, 8069, let's say, no, 8099, let's say, yes. So it's running on 8099 because the other port which was already in use. So now if you refresh this browser, you won't see anymore. So now 8099 if you give, so your application is running here, right? So this is what the Wsgi server works for Django. And so basically in this screencast we have discussed the folder structure in Django. In coming screencast we will create an app and start developing the blog application. Thank you so much for watching this screencast. See you in the next one.